inside, look inside your tiny mind, then look a bit harder, 'cause we're so uninspired, so sick and tired of all the hatred you harbour. So you say it's not okay to be gay, well I think you're just evil. You're just some racist who can't tie my laces. Your point of view is medieval. Fuck you very, very much. 'Cause we hate what you do and we hate your whole...
Okay, well tell me, what's the context, and if it's out of context, what is the context? You're not saying it. I've listened to all the tapes. There's 3 camera angles of that discussion. Are you saying it's not about McKinney, about that operation? What is the right context? I'm asking you. Can I ask you how it's been taken out of context? Nothing else to say, Tony.
Do you get a little kick out of being small-minded? You want to be like your father, it's approval you're after. Well, that's not how you find it.
Has been booted out of Parliament.
Do you really enjoy living a life that's so
rejected from the House for an hour due to their unruly behaviour.
The Leader of the Opposition will remove himself from the chamber under 94A.
The Leader of the Opposition says that people who hold sexist views and who
Member for
are
McKellar.
misogynists are not appropriate for high office. The Leader of the Opposition who has said, not when he was a student, not when he was in high school, when he was a minister under the last government, he has said, and I quote, "If it's true that men have more power, generally speaking, than women, is that a bad thing?" The Leader of the Opposition says, what if men are by physiology or temperament more adapted to exercise authority or to issue command? The Leader of the Opposition, as Minister for Health, said, and I quote, "Abortion is the easy way out." I was very personally offended by those comments. You said that in March 2004. I suggest you check the records. I was also very offended on behalf of the women of Australia when the Leader of the Opposition said, when the housewives of Australia need to do what the housewives of Australia need to understand as they do the ironing. Thank you for that painting of women's roles in modern Australia. I was offended when the Leader of the Opposition went outside in the front of Parliament and stood next to a sign that described me as a man's bitch. The Leader of the Opposition says, and I quote, "Every day the Prime Minister stands in this Parliament to defend this Speaker will be another day of shame for a government which should already have died of shame."
Oh, where's that phrase?
Well, can I indicate to the Leader of the Opposition the government is not dying of shame. My father did not die of shame. What the Leader of the Opposition should be ashamed of is his performance in this Parliament and the sexism he brings with it. I'm always offended by statements that are anti-women.
Look, so seriously, this is a very serious question.
But all of us, Kerry, all of us, when we're in the heat of verbal combat, so to speak, will sometimes say things that go a little bit further.
Mr Abbott, we're not all leaders of major political parties who are either Prime Minister or aspiring to be.
True.
God help us. God help us, you know. An intellectual, truly an intellectual nobody.
'Cause it's people like you that need to get slew. No one wants your opinion.
And I'm happy to retract it.
Too late, too late.